Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to the video. And Dallas Fuel. You just can't stay out of the spotlight, can you? Of course, there's more drama coming out from them. Every single time they lose, it gets more devastating, and their reactions get even worse. Effect, he did a full-on AMA on the Korean Reddit. He went off. He called out his teammates, he called out his coaching staff, he called out the management. He basically told it how it is. So we got a ton of insight on the Dallas Fuel. We're going to cover everything he said, and it's crazy, guys. Trust me. And also, Hastro made some tweets, who is the owner of the Dallas Fuel. He basically threw KINGmykL under the bus. So it seems more than likely that he is going to be fired because Effect did say they were getting a new coach. And there's just so much more, guys. We're going to cover it all. Also, the games from yesterday. Sure, Boston Uprising, Dallas Fuel, Philadelphia Fusion, Shanghai Dragons. They weren't good sets. They were stomps. Who cares? New York Excelsior, Seoul Dynasty. Honestly, the highest level of gameplay I've seen in the entire league, and it was methodical. I enjoyed it so much. I'm going to cover those games, break down what happened, why New York won, and that's it, guys. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. I upload content like this every single day. You can get all the juice, drama, leaks, rumors, Overwatch League recaps, power rankings, predictions, all the good stuff, guys. We're so active on this channel. Drop a like, subscribe. There's a huge giveaway coming soon. I also stream every single day after the Overwatch League. As soon as it ends, come follow my channel. We talk about the games, all the drama. It's really fun. And let's get this video underway because it's going to be a crazy one, guys. I promise you that. So let's start this video off talking about the Boston Uprising Dallas Fuel set. Then after it, we'll go into the Dallas Fuel situation with KINGmykL, the coach, what Effect said on his AMA. Then after that, we'll cover the rest of the games. So I guess starting off with this set, there really isn't too much to talk about. Dallas Fuel looked like a complete joke. You guys know, about a week ago, I was kind of defending KINGmykL and the coaching staff of the Dallas Fuel. I thought some of the hate was maybe misguided and we should put some of it on the players. But now, honestly, there's no more excuses for KINGmykL and the coaching staff. It's ridiculous what they did today. The first two maps, they ran Custa on Lucio. Why? You have Harry Hook on your team. Can he not play Lucio anymore? Is he sick? Tell us something. Custa looked like he was lost. He didn't look good at all. There was no pilling for Chips, and Chips got obliterated throughout the set by Striker and Gamsu. Also, I am absolutely disgusted. Why is ACAM in on Genji? You're playing a map of Volskaya where you have a Sombra and Genji, and you're not running Rascal. What is going on through the coaching staff's mind? Seriously, what is going on? What would make you think, let's run AKM on Genji? He'll do fine. He's gonna do great. I believe in him so much. Why would you believe that? I'm about to lose it real quick, guys. I'm in one of the modes where I just want to rage. I want to tilt. I want to freak out. And I said I was going to talk about the games, and now I'm already on the situation with the coaching staff and KINGmykL. It's a joke. You can't talk about the games without bringing them up. So we saw AKM on Genji for basically a whole map. Makes no sense. Taimu looked lost on Winston. Honestly, at this point, maybe it is better to put Coco in. He played like trash in stage 1, but Taimu played what's worse than trash? I don't even know. It was horrible. This was the worst showing of the Dallas Fuel we've ever seen. I mean, it looked like the worst team in the league facing off against the best. And we all know the Boston Uprising are not the best team in the league right now. The Dallas Fuel got handled more than the Shanghai Dragons get handled. I honestly think if the Shanghai Dragons faced the Dallas Fuel today, the Dallas Fuel would have lost more than likely 4-0 or 3-1. It's a disgrace. Coming into the league as the most popular team, the most fans, everybody adored them. We thought they were going to do really good. Sure, they turned out to do pretty bad. Whatever, you still got your fans, and they supported you really hard throughout the first stage. And going into stage 2, they thought, all right, this is our time. We made some good pickups. Dallas Fuel, they're finally going to bring honor to our city, to our team. But no, it went so south. It went beyond south. We're past Antarctica, boys. We're past it. It seems like the management gives absolute no about the team. None. Not one, dude. How much longer can this go on for? We've been talking about this for over a month now. Practically the whole season after week 1. It's been going downhill. There was one little hump where it looked like they might be going up when they beat the LA Gladiators. and that was because XQC was back and he performed very well with the team, but he got banned. Sure, that's mostly XQC's fault, but it's also the coaching staff and management's fault. They couldn't control the kid. Like, seriously, if this was almost any other team in the league, they could have controlled him a bit better. The guy was just a loose cannon on his stream, and they just let him go on stream and be a loose cannon. I guarantee you a lot of the other teams, they would have had somebody in management who would have been able to get to XQC, help him understand that he's not able to do crazy things, and they would have controlled him. Simply put, they would have. It's a complete mess. The Dallas Fuel need to do something. They need to take care of this situation. KINGmykL has got to go if it's his fault. Alright, so this is a good time. Let's go into the tweets that Hastro, the Dallas Fuel owner, said after the matches today. It's been tough for us in the Fuel. Lots to work through still. No one is more passionate and affected than I am by these losses. I've put full control into the hands of our coaching and management staff. We're giving them the opportunity to turn it around. Still burning blue. Monte Cristo responded with a tweet saying this: did they not have full control previously? Hastro responded, for the most part, yes. You can't own a team and never have your ownership group involved in decisions. Obviously we have some involvement, but I'm not the one making the strategies and working with the players in practice every day. You get it. Monte Cristo responded once again saying, yeah, I understand, just was curious if there were other decisions being made. I have confidence in your staff, and I know their struggle is always playing an incomplete deck. And I've agreed. I've said it in a lot of my recent videos. The Dallas Fuel have had unfortunate streaks of bad things happening. Players have been sick. Effect went back to Korea for some reason. XQC being suspended. But still, there's no excuse for playing the way you are. The comps, the players on these roles, makes no sense. What the are you running AKM on Genji for? Why is Rascal not in there playing Sombra or Genji? Beats me, dude. The team's falling apart and the management is at the head of it. There are literally no more excuses for them. Hastro is basically calling them out right now, saying, I've given all full control to my management and coaching staff. If they screw up, it's on them. They're gone. That's literally what Hastro means in this tweet. Alright, next, let's move on to Effect and what he had to say in an AMA that he did on Invin in Korean today. And like I said earlier, guys, he went off. He told the truth. So, of course, our trusty translator from Reddit, TISRobin311, he translated this question for us. Someone asked, are there any internal problems with the team? Effect answered, there were, and we are solving it. I heard there's a new coach coming to our team, but I don't know the exact details. Another question asked, why is Rascal not getting playtime? Is it because he's doing bad? Answer, no. You're kidding me. Oh, this makes me furious. Whatever, move on to the next one. Question, do the players believe that Mickey's diva is unable to care/peel for them much in the game? Answer, well, I don't know about the others. For me, yes, I do feel it. Oh, man. Hastro, hey, buddy, I mean, like, just give me full control of the team. You know, we'll get a roster that can actually perform, get some wins, you know, probably beat the Boston Uprising, San Francisco Shock, Florida Mayhem, you know, things that you guys aren't capable of doing right now because your management is blind. This next question, I've been preaching this for so long. This is exactly why I expected the Dallas Fuel not to do good at the beginning of the season. I got so much hate for it, but it literally makes sense, and coming from Effect, hopefully it will be put in perspective for all of you guys. So the question was, why are Envious members in a slump? The answer was, no matter how good, the only major tourney they won was Apex Season 1 when Korean teams were bad, and Contenders was a Tier 2 tournament. I was chosen as a Tracer expert. We're not that impressive. That's why we're trying more. And this is what I've been preaching for about 3 months now. The reason why the Dallas Fuel aren't competing against the Korean teams is because they were not as good as them. Another question asked, why is Mickey the only off-tank on your team? Answer, we are aware of the problem and moved Siegel to off-tank, but we still need time. We have many DPS players, so it's even possible I could do it because I have experience on off-tanks. We're discussing internally about the teamwork between tanks and supports. There will be changes. Question, is Dallas thinking of signing another diva? Not yet. There are talks about it though, so it's possible. What do you mean not yet? You guys should be gunning for a diva. Gunning. You do not have a capable diva player. I'm sorry, Mickey. I've been too nice throughout these videos. Really, honestly, Dallas Fuel need to be torn apart. Someone needs to give these guys a reality check. By the way, this whole AMA thing that is going on should not be happening. Why on earth is the management letting this guy do a full AMA where he basically blasts himself and his entire team? This is not healthy. It's just ridiculous. These guys do not know what they're doing. We do not see any team in the Overwatch League, any team other than the Dallas Fuel, going on social media after their games, freaking out, ranting about how they suck, ranting about their other teammates, complaining and just breaking down after every match. We've literally seen 0 teams do this other than the Dallas Fuel. Please, management, get your crap together. Do your job. Do your job. Here's another one. Question. Who's the best Genji? Rascal. Obviously. Why is AKM on it? What a joke. Another question. It's been a while since the league started, but why is teamwork still a problem with Dallas? Answer. So far we thought our method of practice was the problem. However, we're rethinking the problem might be with the roster, so we're looking for major changes. Yes. Hallelujah. Yes. Now you're thinking, is there a partner and comp you want? Now this question didn't make sense to me, but he answered with this. Recently, I've been thinking about moving on off-tank role, and AKM/Rascal playing DPS. Oh god, please, Effect. What are you talking about, dude? AKM and Rascal playing DPS? Who's gonna play Tracer, dude? Just get AKM out of there for now, please. Like, he's played enough, man. Get him off Genji. Like, give him a break. Give him some time off. Send him back to France, please. Just run some Rascal and Effect, Tracer, Genji. Get some Koreans. Oh, I'm freaking out. Is the strongest comp still Winston, Diva, Tracer, Genji? Answer. Unless Winston and Tracer get nerfed, that will be the case. Then run it! Run it! You have the pieces. You have Rascal. You have Effect. 2 of the greatest. Like, run it then. Why are you running AKM then? Question. Who shot calls in your team? How is the communication? Answer. There are no shot calls. Okay. Honestly, guys, at this point, I see no need going through any more of these questions. As you've seen already, he's gone off on his teammates, his coaches. He basically said they're getting a new coach, and Hastro threw KINGmykL under the bus. Just it's so disappointing. As you guys can tell, my tone of the voice throughout this entire segment of the video, I'm so disappointed. I'm so angry. I'm frustrated. Hastro, I'm sorry, dude, but up until this point, you have completely failed to control your team. KINGmykL, up until this point, you have failed to control your team. Every other coach on the team has failed. Every single player on the team has failed. Hopefully, these changes do come. Coaching staff, players, it all needs to change. Dallas Fuel has to get their crap together, and they need to start performing because they have so many fans that love them, and they're being heartbroken. It's honestly a joke. It's a waste of 20 mil. It's a waste of salary to all these players, all these coaches. It's just a complete waste. They've thrown it all away. This is probably going to be a massive part of the video, but I figure everybody wants to hear this stuff and know what's going on, and this is what's going on, guys. So, of course, I finished the video up, and, it's all done, and I go on Reddit, and I find another thread about the Dallas Fuel. Taimu, he's whispering Fisher while he's streaming, asking him for advice. Okay, not so harmless, right? But let's go over the conversation they had. Taimu says, because I watch your play and I try to do the same things, I cannot for some reason. I don't know if it's my fault or my team's. It bothers me a lot. Fisher says, Taimu, I'm streaming now, but I think it's not your matter on Winston. So I think he's saying it's not your fault. Taimu responds, yes, I saw, I'm gonna watch. Fisher then says, I think your team matters a lot too. I don't know why AKM play Genji. I don't know why AKM play Sombra. Where is Rascal? And Mickey follow more on Frontline too. Taimu says, I wish I could answer those, but I can't. But thank you. Streaming off and more talk. Okay, that sounds good. Seems like everybody knows what the problems are for the Dallas Fuel besides the Dallas Fuel. Mickey's not doing his job. Why is AKM playing Rascal's role? Why is Effect playing Rascal's role when Rascal was one of the best in the world at his role? I'm sorry I still went on, guys. I had to throw this in here. I saw it on Reddit. It popped up, and it felt meaningful to talk about. It really did. Let's move on to the second set of the day, which finally I can be happy. We can talk about something that was great. Seoul Dynasty, New York Excelsior. They put on a clinic for us, guys. I really do think this was the highest level of Overwatch we've seen so far. Each team was trying to adapt mid-game to the other team, and it really made for a methodical match. On Hanamura, we saw both teams on their attack. They would take a route where they'd group up on one side of the point, and then the other team would group up on the other side of the point. And there was like this standoff every single time for either 10 to 40 seconds where both teams just looked to try to get a pick. It seemed like almost neither of them wanted to make a move and end up making a mistake. So it was so passive. They were really honestly waiting for either Munchkin or SBB to get a kill or set something really nice up for a dive, or Jonak or Jaehong to get a 5-orb one-shot. That was really what it was on. And then as soon as something like that happened, we would see the teams just go instantly. Like, they flew in as soon as a kill happened, and they tried to converge on and win the team fight. And pretty much every single time we saw a team get a pick, they did win. So that happened basically 3-4 times on the first point. But the very last one, we saw a crazy adaptation from the New York Excelsior. They set up Libero, SBB in this bush hiding, and they converged on the choke of the first point and slammed Jaehong. Seoul Dynasty was caught off guard. They still managed to trade pretty evenly though, so it wasn't that bad, but the New York Excelsior players did get back in time and they held it down, giving them the first map win. Hanamura was one of my favorite maps of this set. Very exciting. I loved the methodical gameplay. Both teams adapting the strategy mid-game. It was awesome to see. Moving on to the second map, we had Nepal. We started off on Sanctum, and we saw Seoul Dynasty run a quad tank comp into New York Excelsior's Pharah Widow. So two very interesting comps, and in my opinion, I do think the quad tank works, but you have to win that first fight. If you can win the first fight, you can maybe snowball it. And it was a really back and forth fight. It seemed like New York Excelsior had it, they capped the point, but then Seoul Dynasty, they came back and then they capped it and won it. And at this point, I thought, oh man, Libero on the Pharah, he might have to swap. They're going to be in trouble because despite Pharah being a counter to that comp, it is almost impossible to retake that point with a Pharah, especially when you have 4 tanks pushed up at a choke there. So I really expected Seoul Dynasty to run away with it or New York Excelsior to make a crazy comp switch and win. But New York Excelsior, they stuck with their guns. They came in, they retook the point, and they just held it down for the rest of the map. Quad tank didn't really work out there for Seoul Dynasty. Then we moved on to the second round, and Seoul Dynasty switched over to that Tracer Soldier comp. And throughout the set, it really seemed like Seoul Dynasty's back pocket strategy was that Soldier Tracer. It was their best strat. It was the one they wanted to use to beat New York. And for New York, it seemed like it was the Tracer Genji comp that was in their back pocket, and that's how they wanted to win the set. And this made for a very interesting game. We would see the Seoul Dynasty sit back as much as they can, try to get that poke damage in, blow up Mano when he jumped in, kill the tanks. But it's just so hard to do when you have SBB doing circles around you, and then Libero ready to dive in at any point. Honestly, they looked so good on dive, and Libero made a case for himself today. Sure, he didn't do very well on like Widowmaker and sometimes on Soldier, but this dude was so good on the Genji. He had map winning plays on Genji throughout the entire set. His Pharah is also very good. I think Libero's the most underrated player in the league right now, and it's mainly due to his teammates being so damn good. But if you start to compare him to other Genjis in the league, he's really looking like either the number 1 or number 2 right now. Likewise with Pharah, so very impressive set from him today. And Nepal ended up going to the favor of Seoul Dynasty. The counter dive worked very well. Moving on to the next map, we had Hollywood, where we seen Janice come in for New York Excelsior. And to be fair, Janice is a good main tank, but Mano is just simply better. And up until this point, Janice does have a worse win record than Mano. So I think it's time to maybe just keep running Mano instead of putting Janice in. They ended up losing Hollywood, and I do think that might have been a reason why. But it also was a map that Seoul Dynasty just played really well on, so taking nothing away from them, they went up in this set 2-1. And we were going on Gibraltar, where I thought Seoul Dynasty had a huge advantage on because of the Widow play. In my opinion, I thought Fleta was the best Widow in the entire game. And because of it being Gibraltar, we all know this is a Widow-dominated map. Probably one of the best in the entire map pool right now. But New York Excelsior, they came out on attack, and they had Libero on Hanzo. And this has been a pocket pick for Libero for a while now. We've seen it a lot on King's Row. We haven't seen it too much on other maps. He ran on Hanamura, it didn't pan out too well there, but on Gibraltar, wow, it actually worked so well in their attack. He did so much damage opening up the first point. Throughout the first and second point, he picked Munchkin at least 3 to 4 times. I didn't count it, but it was a lot. So Libero basically opened everything up for them. Seoul Dynasty couldn't get to him because they were running counter dive. It would have basically been on Winston and Diva, and he's just too far away. He was doing so much pop damage, it was insane. And we finally got to the third point though. They swapped Fleta to Widowmaker, which I thought they were going to do, and he did dominate. The counter dive strategy worked, and they had a great hold on third point. They shut down New York for about 4 minutes straight, and I really thought it was over. There was no doubt in my mind that Seoul Dynasty were going to roll through their attack with Fleta on Widow. Nobody could really contest them on New York. Sure, SBB can swap to the Widowmaker. He's pretty good at it, but he's definitely not Fleta level. We all know that. So I really just assumed Seoul Dynasty was going to look great, and they had a thorough attack. You know, it took some time to get through first, but they still got it with time left. Same thing with second. They got to third with almost 3 minutes left, and I figured, you know, they were probably going to take it. But New York Excelsior, they came in clutch. They held Seoul Dynasty down for about 3 fights in a row, Libero, he popped off in the very last one on Genji. Once again, another team fight to win a map from him, and they took it, forcing Game 5 on Ilios. So here we go, guys. Game 5. Everything we were all hoping for comes down to Ilios. Are New York going to be able to put up and perform when it matters? And are Seoul Dynasty going to be able to take their throne back? This is what it all came down to. It was so hype. Honestly, going into it, I expected Seoul to win because once again, it was Fleda's time to shine. Widowmaker, Fleda, Ilios. Name a more iconic trio than that, guys. It was his time to shine, and he honestly didn't put up. And New York Excelsior, they shined. This was their map. This was their time. They took it. They looked great, and they won. 3-2. New York Excelsior, man, they were so excited too. They deserved it. They really looked like they wanted it, and they took it. Finally, about time. I was so happy for them. As I said, guys, this set was just amazing. It was such high-level gameplay. Sure, Ilios wasn't the best of maps, but the first 4 were great. Specifically, Hanamura and Gibraltar, those were my favorite. And something to point out, the pilling for Jonak is incredible, man. There were so many times where this guy was kind of caught out, and it looked like he was going to get one clipped or dove in just one shot, and somehow Arc keeps him alive. Meko keeps him alive. They just literally like the second, like instantly they turn and pill for this guy and he doesn't die. He does not die. It's crazy. We thought maybe coming in the new meta without Mercy, they weren't going to be able to pocket him and keep him alive, but somehow they still do it. It's incredible. So New York Excelsior looking like one of the best teams right now. If London loses to Seoul, I'm going to say New York is the best team, but I still have a feeling that London's going to beat Seoul. They're going to qualify for Stage 2 playoffs, and they'll win it all. I'm just not going to pick against London Spitfire until they prove to me that they're not going to win it all. Up to this point, they've won it all every time. New York Excelsior looking great. Huge contender for Stage 2. So we do have some very important matches coming up at the end of the week. Seoul Dynasty, London, we're really looking at that one. It'll shape up what the playoffs will look like. And overall, guys, I said it, this set was amazing. I was extremely satisfied after it ended. I didn't really care who won. Sure, I got the prediction wrong, but screw that, whatever. Moving on to the last match of the day, we had the Philadelphia Fusion, Shanghai Dragons. Very similar to the first match of the day, wasn't close at all. Philadelphia Fusion, they just gave the beatdown to Shanghai Dragons, map after map. It was a 4-0 clean stomp. Snilla was in though, he got some playtime. Finally good to see him in. He is 18 now. I know he does look 12. I look 12 as well. Don't give him any flack for it. He's 18. He popped off. Sure, it's against the Shanghai Dragons, but I'm definitely intrigued to see him play again. He might not because we all know Carpe's probably better, but still, give him another game against maybe San Francisco Shock, Boston Uprising, Dallas Fuel, a weaker opponent. It would be nice to see him in and see what he could do against somebody who's obviously better than Shanghai, but not the best in the league. Other than that, though, it was an ordinary set. EQO actually played 2 weeks in a row. So far, what we've seen the Philadelphia Fusion do with EQO and Shadowburn, we saw them alternate weeks. First week EQO played, second week Shadowburn played, third week EQO played. So I did expect to see Shadowburn this week, but EQO was in. Again, it's against Shanghai Dragons, not too much to think of. We'll see if he's playing in their next match of this week, which is against the Dallas Fuel. So hopefully we'll see Snillo and EQO in together, see what they can do against the Fuel. They'll probably roll them, let's be honest. And that's basically it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. It's probably been a long video. Be sure if you enjoy this content, drop a like, subscribe to my channel. I upload videos every single day. I'm also live on Twitch every single day after the Overwatch League. So if you want to come talk about the games, I'll be live immediately after. Follow my Twitch. I'll see you guys there. Giveaway coming soon. Peace.